Imagine locking your front door before you head out for work, but, deciding to just leave the key sitting right there in the lock. Sounds absolutely crazy, right? Well, relying on just a password in today's digital world is literally the exact same thing. Welcome to this explainer on the two-lock defense. Today, we're going to master two-factor authentication and seriously lock down our digital lives.
Here is a quick look at our roadmap for today. We're going to examine the account takeover threat, define the two-lock defense, and then secure your big tech and social media platforms step by step. Finally, we'll wrap up with some crucial troubleshooting tips and look at the limits of 2FA.
Okay, part one, the account takeover threat.
The sheer scale of this threat is, frankly, terrifying. Just think about this massive number, 2.8 gigabytes. In a major cyber attack by a group known as UNC2447, hackers made off with 2.8 gigabytes of highly sensitive data, completely compromising over 3,000 confidential files. This isn't just some abstract theory we're talking about. This shows the very real-world stakes of account takeovers. We are talking massive reputational damage, identity theft, and serious corporate exploitation.
Which brings me to a question I have to ask you directly. Is your password really enough to protect you? The short, definitive answer is no way. With modern tactics like credential stuffing, where hackers basically take passwords leaked in one breach and just test them across thousands of other sites, and those incredibly convincing phishing pages, a password alone is just no longer a viable defense.
Let's dive into part two, the two-lock defense.
So what exactly is it? Two-factor authentication, or 2FA, is a security process that requires two entirely different forms of identification. I want you to try and remember the rule of three here. It asks for something you know, like a password, something you have, like your smartphone or a physical security key, or something you are, like a fingerprint or a facial scan.
The FTC uses a fantastic analogy to demystify all this tech jargon. They say, using two-factor authentication is like using two locks on your door. Think about it. Even if a hacker manages to pick the first lock by stealing your password, they are stopped dead in their tracks because they simply do not have the key to your second lock.
Now, let's clear up a super common misconception. You might see two-step verification and two-factor authentication used interchangeably online, but there is a vital difference. Two-step verification might ask for a password and then maybe a security question. Sure, that's two steps, but they are both things you know. True 2FA is so much stronger because it demands proofs from two entirely different categories. Hackers have to defeat two entirely different kinds of proof, which makes their job exponentially harder.
So the crucial point is picking the right lock. Security keys offer the absolute highest security since they're physical, phishing-resistant hardware. Authenticator apps, like Google or Microsoft Authenticator, offer really high security with time-based codes that refresh every 30 seconds. Down at the bottom, though, is SMS text messaging. I really need to give you a strong warning here. SMS is better than nothing, but it is highly vulnerable to SIM swapping attacks. Definitely avoid it if you have the choice. Moving on to part three. Securing big tech accounts.
Now, don't stress if website interfaces change over time, because there is actually a universal 2FA setup flow. No matter the site, you generally just navigate to Settings, find the Security menu, locate the 2FA option, and follow the prompts. This fundamental map right here is going to help you lock down almost any platform on the internet.
Let's test that map out on your Google account. You'll go to Manage your Google account, click the Security tab over on the left, and select two-step verification. It integrates so seamlessly into their security portal. You can choose to get push prompts to your phone, set up an authenticator app, or even use a hardware key.
For all you iPhone and iPad users out there, simply open your iOS settings and tap your name or Apple ID banner at the top. Select Password and Security, then tap Turn on Two-Factor Authentication. You'll enter a trusted phone number to start, but the cool thing is once it's on, your Apple device itself quickly becomes your trusted second factor for any new logins. Next up, Amazon. Think about how much of your financial life is concentrated on this e-commerce hub. Navigate to Your Account, click Login and Security, and hit Edit next to the two-step verification settings. I highly, highly recommend registering a TOTP, which stands for Time-Based One-Time Password, Authenticator app right here to keep that payment info totally safe.
Part 4. Locking down social media.
Meta has actually done something brilliant here by unifying their security. To lock down Facebook and Instagram, open Settings and Privacy, enter the Unified Account Center, and select Password and Security. From there, just tap two-factor authentication. This centralized hub acts as a single, critical node, allowing you to easily secure both platforms simultaneously with an Authenticator app.
Over on X, formerly Twitter, you'll want to open Settings and Privacy, go to Security and Account Access, choose Security, and click Two-Factor Authentication. Now, it is important to note that X currently restricts SMS text 2FA to their premium subscribers. But honestly, that is completely fine because choosing an Authenticator app is a much better and free option anyway. Now for TikTok. Open your profile menu, tap Settings and Privacy, select Security and Permissions, and tap Two-Step Verification. Because of TikTok's massive visibility and its huge potential for viral fame, it is a prime target for hackers. They'll ask you to enable at least two methods, like your email and an Authenticator app. Doing this is absolutely non-negotiable if you value your account.
Let's move on to part 5, best practices and troubleshooting.
Okay, so it is the most common question I get, and it's a totally valid fear. What happens if you lose your phone or your primary authentication device? I mean, you've successfully locked the hackers out, but you definitely don't want to lock yourself out in the process. Well, here is your structural safety net. Every single time you set up 2FA, the platform is going to generate a list of backup codes. Download and save them securely. You need to treat these backup codes exactly like a spare physical key to your house. Keep them hidden, but know exactly where they are. Also, be sure to configure a backup email address and use an Authenticator app that backs up to the cloud so you can easily restore everything if you get a new device. Finally, part 6, the limits of 2FA. One of the biggest vulnerabilities right now is something called MFA fatigue, or prompt bombing. Basically, hackers will steal your password and then repeatedly trigger push notifications to your phone. They're just betting that an annoyed or exhausted user is eventually going to tap approve by mistake, just to make the buzzing stop. This exact tactic compromised a staff account at the University of Queensland, leading to a massive phishing campaign. So please, never blindly tap approve on your phone for a login you didn't initiate. So the absolutely crucial point to take away today is this. 2FA is a massive, game-changing upgrade to your security, but ultimately, you are the final line of defense. Now, I have to include a quick disclaimer here. While 2FA significantly enhances your security, no system guarantees 100% protection against all threats out there, so you always have to stay vigilant. The platforms give you the locks, but you have to be the one to turn the key. Will you take just 5 minutes today to lock your digital doors? Empower yourself and take control of your digital safety right now. And hey, if you found this explainer helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend or family member who really needs to lock their digital doors too. Thank you so much for hanging out and learning with me today.